Ciao everyone, this is Zuzy with Cooking for the Clueless, and welcome back to Fridays with Fabio. Fabio, today's question for you is all about your grandma. I have a feeling your Nonna was a huge influence in your life, and my grandmas were definitely a big influence in my life. Here's my abuela Susel, and here's my abuela Martin. So they raised me and they were awesome, so I want to know, what influence was your Nonna in your life? Thanks.
So now, okay, this is a very emotional question for me. We're talking about grandma. So, think about this one. My grandmother is the person that I loved the most in my life. Although it's the only person that I did ever set on fire. When I was 5 years old, I'll make a long story short, I was a terrible kid, evil. I mean, in Tasmanian devil. I was the kid that you truly think as a parent to get rid of it, and that's not good. So my grandfather used to hunt, make his own bullets, big lead balls with black powder, with a Scorpio, the Italian shotgun, where the ignition is a little nozzle, the gunpowder starts and the bullet gets out, and you hear like bird and goose, and you eat them once they're dead. What happened is that I collect about 2 pounds of black powder, spread it all over around the couch in my living room, wet the whole things with rubbing alcohol, and set it on fire. Now, I grew up with telefilm like MacGyver, A-Team, so I was like a time bomb, truly. And I was having access to everything in my house because my great-grandmother was in a wheelchair. So what happened is that in order to save me, grandma runs into the room. She has a blanket or like a long skirt or something, I can't remember. I was 5, and everything caught on fire. My father, my grandfather, everybody got scared. They blew my grandma off. They beat the crap out of me, but that's all right. I loved her so much. I didn't mean to. Also, she did set herself on fire. I didn't. But what she did, amazing, that saved my life from either kill myself or kill anybody else, was to convey that energy into something constructive rather than destructive. So she brought me to the stove, and with the yellow pages, I mean, I'm talking about 4 or 5 volumes of yellow pages, I was sitting, standing on these things, cooking like polenta, pasta, pies, gnocchi. So by the age of 6, 7, I was like a master chef. I couldn't make any chef in this country look like a schoolgirl. Now, what happened also is that she died about 6 years ago, and one thing I would love to tell her is, Grandma, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why not only you die on me, but you also forgot to write it down, the recipe for the braised rabbit risotto. You know that since you died, I never had that dish before. I hate you for that, but I love you so much that I miss you to pieces. Now, I do carry the honor because she used to cook with this book, and I lost the book in one of my moving. I changed country, and I lost the book. And the book was a yellow, beat up, crapped all over piece of paper with recipe, 300-400 years old, like from centuries old, from her grandmother. And the funny part is that those recipes were like my English, impossible to understand. A pinch of this, a bit of that, a slice of this, a half piece of that. God knows what measurement unit she was using, but the outcome was always delicious. So, if you're asking me, my grandmother was my inspiration for everything I do. And it's like, when I was in the finale of Top Chef, they asked me to do a fancy meal for all this big, Colicchio, Emerald, let's do a New Orleans food cuisine. I say, you know what, fuck that. I'm doing Italian food all the way. I cannot make my grandma do backflip in the grave. I just can't do that. So that's it. I got everything I am and everything I have to, it's thanks to my grandma. So, here you go.